And I said, well, sure, bring her over. So my dear friend Liza, who made these earrings, showed up with Elena and dropped her off. And at that point, we were able to talk and go for a hike and climb up, walk up a mountain and that kind of stuff. And we ended up playing music together. And we noticed that we both had similar themes and juxtaposition in empowerment to woman, acknowledgement and respect to the wisdom of elders, love and nourishment and support for children, and also acknowledging people that don't have it so easy as well, and paying respect to them and letting them be our teachers as well. And our music kind of was similar in that way. So I invited Elena to a gig I had at a New Mexico youth incarceration center for Native American youth. And it was so funny because we didn't really rehearse, but we heard each other's music and we kind of looked at each other's chords and sang along. But we went to this incarcerated center in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and performed. And the response we got from about 45 Navajo and Pueblo boys that were under 18 convicted for felonies was astounding. And I got to observe the way Elena talked to these children with very little words, but in a way that made them think outside of the box, outside of the cage, outside of the bars, look out into the sky and look how much room there is for freedom.
Right.
And I was very impressed. So as we were driving home after the gig, I said, why don't we bring our music together? Since you're here in the States, let's create some music together. And she said, yeah. I said, so what's your background? And she said, well, I worked in a Native youth prison in Australia, in Townsville, and I worked with a lot of Aboriginal youth that were incarcerated. And I went, wow, that's pretty impressive. So we've been putting it together since, and it's really starting to reap the benefits because we finally feel like we have a rapport now. We know how to work together. We know who's got what in terms of gifts and talents to bring to the table, because collaboration is work in itself.
Right.
And it's no longer a me thing. It's no longer my song. It's okay, here's some lyrics, take a look at it and redesign it. And let's put some music to it and vocals to it. And somehow we've just come up with this really nice synergy that creating music is not work. It's fun. It's the creative process in the making. It's the birthing of new art, new songs, new concepts to be able to share. And it's not about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I mean, that's out there and that's beautiful. And I've certainly engaged and sung about those kinds of things, but that's not where I'm at today, nor is that where Elena's at today. So if you'd like to add to that.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you, Roberta, for that question. I think more than anything, it's more of our spiritual walk and our beliefs, and really being connected to Creator and whatever that looks like. And so for me, with the gifts that we have, it's a wonderful synergy, as Tosh was talking about, and just going on the road and what we believe. So in the 3 years that we've been on the road together, and the phenomenal places of where we've gone and places where we've sung, it's really a deep core root of the empowerment of our gifts, which is through the music, through the voice, the guitars, and delivering that. And whatever gifts that we all have, to be able to tap in whatever that greater source is, whatever we believe, and to be able to do it. And when meeting Tosh and, the story that she was giving, when I heard her music, it was like, wow, our message is very, very similar. So for me, it's been wonderful to amalgamate our sound and then go on this walk wherever that takes us. And, it's such a gift that we can bring, whether that's to one person or many, in a forum of, workshopping, concerts. This wonderful sound, and also the beliefs of what we have, and that grows every moment by moment. And so just sharing that on a really beautiful concept. So, this year we're very excited with this wonderful CD that, it's just come out of studio, so it's hot off the press. We've got a lot of tours to the East Coast. We're doing a major CD launch in Santa Fe and Albuquerque in beginning of May. And then we're overseas, going back to Australia, where I lived for 10 years before New Zealand, and then doing a tour there to remote and regional areas, and then back here, and then doing the West and East Coast. So we're really excited about it. And I think when you ask the question, you know, your spiritual beliefs, and, you know, as Indigenous people, as Indigenous women, you know, it's of our time of where we're at the moment, and empowering each other on whatever our walk is, you know. And we've had phenomenal leaders, elders, who have done some amazing, amazing work for us. And here's our forum of where we are today and our connection with each other. And coming from our rich, inherent Indigenous backgrounds, you know, of what is happening in this time and world, it's such a phenomenal, you know, I feel very blessed to be here, to be delivering this work. And so if it moves people, you know, we have so much gratitude, because as Tosh was saying, it's just a lot of fun for us, and we get to meet all these amazing people such as yourself, you know, this wonderful work that you're doing and delivering of people who come through and whatever work they're doing, and inspires other people. So thank you for all the work that you do.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'd like to add to that, if you don't mind. I've been an activist since I was little. My parents were American Indian Movement. My uncles, my aunts, and, you know, on the Navajo Reservation and many farms, Chinle, Rough Rock, Black Mesa, there was, you know, Exit and Mr. Indian in Time and Buffy St. Marie, of course, and all these amazing musicians that were coming and doing these concerts on the reservation and folk festivals and in collaboration with powwows and what have you. And I really was inspired by these amazing role models as a child and what they were doing, and I would just be this little kid looking up to these amazing Native American musicians singing their activist stories. And, you know, I grew into the activism, and as a teenager I went to become really, really angry, you know, about assimilation gone wrong and treaty this, government that, and, you know, and I found myself really walking with a lot of anger inside of me, and doing the activist work with theater and writing and song and playing music and rock bands and whatever. But at some stage in my life, I got really tired of being angry, because it takes so much energy out of my system to be angry, to walk with a scowl, to walk with anger and have that kind of attitude. So I wanted to continue the activist work, but I thought, well, if activism's based on anger and getting your word out, then maybe I should stop doing activist work and just do some kind of service position in hospitality and serve mankind in some way. And then I realized from some other mentors that I can continue the activist work, but I can replace that anger with the ultimate gift of unconditional love and forgiveness, and be able to continue the work, but not have to carry the anger anymore, but rather the freedom and the forgiveness. And I think that's an important thing that people can come to, just from my own experience, because you can ask several people about that, and it does happen. It's really nice to just walk with peace and love and still be able to carry the message.
And music is so much, you know, a universal language, has the ability to inspire love, inspire anger, sorrow.
Absolutely.
But definitely a wonderful way in which to voice your activism through music, which is international.
And then saying that, you know, we've been very fortunate in our walk too to support so many grassroots Native organisations throughout the States. A lot of organisations in environmental issues, land issues, water issues. So we feel very privileged to be able to, support them all. AIM, and doing a few concerts with AIM, which has been really, really wonderful.
Mm. So it's, you know, very nice that you have come and played for us. You know, there's a woman that has very much been part of the activism in this country under the American Indian movement. And I know that you really wanted to pay tribute to her.